Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. The Cowboys come up with another victory, 2-0 against the Washington Redskins in Landover, Maryland, 31-21. Very impressed with how this team responded. We got off to a really slow start. I don't know if it's just an earlier kickoff for us on the road or, maybe playing down to the opponent a little bit. That first quarter was a little frustrating, but it was also a good learning experience for a guy like a Kellen Moore to kind of learn how to adjust, go to plan B, and figure out what the defense was doing. I thought the Redskins came out very aggressive. Greg Minuski having some really cool blitzes and whatnot that kind of get us off track. Press coverage against our wide receivers, Michael Gallup, just flustering us a little bit. They force an early interception. They get points on it. Adrian Peterson goes and gets a touchdown, ties Jim Brown for fifth all time. So they had some good things going for them early on the Redskins side. But then the Cowboys, as great teams do, and the Cowboys are getting there as a great team, they make the adjustments and they hammer it home against an inferior opponent. And let's just call a spade a spade. The Redskins are now 0-2 in the NFC East. They're an inferior opponent, and the Cowboys go into executing what they need to do, really from an offensive standpoint, because the defense was hanging in there early, despite the early turnover by the offense. But to me, the play that flipped the game, and that's where I kind of want to begin this, is the Tyrone Crawford sack on Case Keenum. The Redskins are actually driving. They're getting inside the 40-yard line, potentially in scoring range, to potentially go up 2 scores. Tyrone Crawford gets a huge sack. It turns into like a 4th and 14 or whatever. And then the Cowboys are able to go back, get some plays. Devin Smith, Dak Prescott hook up for a long 51-yard touchdown pass. Kind of, I won't want to say break the game open in that moment because it was 7-7. But what the Cowboys did so effectively is, and I'm watching the game, I'm like, 4 minutes to go, they're getting the football back. It's 7-7. Let's double up. Let's run this clock out. Let's get a score. We go into halftime. We know we have, because we deferred, we're getting the ball out of halftime, and we score again. We get up 21-7. And that margin that you're able to build in, because the defense fumbled around and had some mistakes. But once we got, A, the offense in rhythm, and B, the margin for the coaching staff and for everybody to feel confident, we were able to roll to a victory on the road today. So, first things first, the Cowboys fan base, you guys want to talk about America's team. They dominated the stands there. And I know the Redskins seats and whatnot are burgundy and gold and whatnot, but you couldn't hide that cowboy blue out there, and it was in full effect. And I'd love for anyone that was at the game today to chime in on the environment, because it rang through real loud and clear on the TV. When Amari Cooper scores his touchdown, or every catch he makes, you can hear the coop all the way from Maryland here in Texas. So just really impressive presence that we had there today. I felt like an extra home game, and playing in good weather on the East Coast is always a good thing this early in the season for us, and so it was great to capitalize on that and take advantage. Moving in, we got through the slow start, and I know the Redskins are banged up. I know they're missing Jonathan Allen. I know Trent Williams is dealing with the contract stuff, and some of the other injuries. Dunbar is out, and all these guys, but that's not the Cowboys' problem, and that's not their burden. They got to go in, handle their business, and execute. And quite frankly, they're a much better football team at this moment in time. And if a Redskin fan is being honest, they'll admit that. So, Dak Prescott today, 26 for 30, 269, 3 touchdowns. Did have the early pick, then 69 yards on the ground. Just another incredible performance by QB1 of the Dallas Cowboys. General Prescott, as I call him. One of the elements that I think is very underrated with Dak is when we get into some of those situations where guys are starting to play a lot of press or pressure, using his legs and having the opportunity to use his legs. I think that was one of the things that really, really started to open things up. And then the improved mechanics, being confident and composed in the pocket, stepping into a big throw downfield and hitting guys on the money. And then from there, Josh Norman gets completely exposed. The safeties get completely exposed. Now guys are playing 10, 12 yards off of Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb. These guys are too explosive and too good route runners not to take advantage of that type of cushion. Jason Witten operating in the middle of the field was very effective today. He got another touchdown. You're seeing the way Jason Witten's being utilized is actually pretty clever by Kellen Moore in situational, aspects on certain third downs and certain passing downs where, he's able to kind of run in the middle of the field and take advantage of certain matchups just with his, wisdom of the game, essentially. And he made some big plays today. Blake Jarwin, again, flashing. Dak completed balls to 8 different receivers today. So ball distribution was outstanding for Dak, using his legs. Ezekiel Elliott looking in better form, showing better burst. Finished over 100 yards rushing today. And it was a yeoman's effort on Zeke's part because the Redskins do have a formidable front up, on their defensive line, even without Jonathan Allen. They do play the run pretty well with their linebackers and whatnot and how they fill. And, over time, we were just able to wear them down. You could see it wear throughout the game. And that's how we're built. We're built to wear teams down, and Zeke took advantage of that. We didn't really see too much Zeke in the pass game today. He did catch a couple balls. Even Tony Pollard, really haven't seen him utilized in the pass game just yet. It was cool to see some little splash plays, little inklings on what they're going to do with Tony Pollard, but Kellen Moore hasn't even shown us that yet. And so I think today he passed the test of, hey, when they take away what you guys want to do early or take away your opening script, how do you respond? How do you counter? And we still at the end of the game got to our RPO stuff. We still got to the quick slant stuff because we love to bang those slants with those quick guys. But I thought he did a great job of just settling the whole offense down and getting them, still establishing the run. Didn't get pass happy. Look, I said Dak only had 30 pass attempts today. But it seemed like we're throwing all over the place because he's completing every single pass. 26 and 30 is outstanding. So, he's off to a great start. 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. We can't ask for more from Dak Prescott, and he is showing that this is his offense. He is in full command of this offense. It's fun for me to watch him work at the line of scrimmage. Let's talk about the defense. So, the Tyrone Crawford play was huge, but that was like our only sack today. And the pass rush was there at times. We didn't blitz too much. We sent LVE on 1 blitz, but I think Doris Armstrong got called for roughing the passer. And on both sides of the ball, we got to clean up the penalty stuff. It was a little frustrating. We actually missed, in my opinion, 2 pick sixes. One bounced off of Jeff Heath's helmet, and then the other one is Xavier Woods. He's got to secure the football. And I know the one guy on the Redskins had his hand in there a little bit. I believe that was Trey Quinn. I'm not 100% sure. But he's got to secure that football and come up with a turnover. That's going to be big when we play some of the better teams because, our little stretch of going through these cupcakes, if you will, it ends after next week because we got Miami. And y'all see what's going on with those brothers down there. I mean, that's sad. But after the Miami game, assuming we don't fall asleep at the wheel down, with them, now we get into the Saints and the Packers and really playing a true first place schedule, right? So, and we start to play the Eagles twice. We got to come up with plays like that on the back end, and that leads me to the next thing. Speaking of Miami, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Stephen Jones coming out this week and saying, hey, we're interested, we're open for business, and trying to work some things out. I don't know if Taco Charlton played today or how much he played, but, his name's been thrown around as potential trade bait with some picks. And I'm sure, Minkah could upgrade a lot of what we have on the back end. I thought Byron Jones played very well today. It was cool to see him get tested because I've been worried about the hip. Been worried about him being able to turn and run. And he had a tough matchup today with the rookie, but somebody who's going to be phenomenal in Terry McLaurin. And, he held up pretty well. I know Terry got a touchdown at the end of the game. But, overall, Byron was there even on the contested catches, right? And that's all you can ask for from your number one corner. So I thought Byron, I think he had 8 tackles today. Very impressive performance. The brother that I'm a little worried about right now in terms of weak link is Anthony Brown. I was really frustrated with the 4th and 7 he gave up to Trey Quinn. Just winning on certain snaps like that. I know slot corner is a difficult position in this league, but we need somebody to hold up there because we're getting some good outside coverage between Cheeto and Byron locking it down. And then Xavier Woods is coming along. I know I talked about him dropping the pick, but he is playing a little bit better on the backside, and he's going to be a very, very good player for us in this league. Run game-wise, I think we held him to 47 yards, 2.8 yards a carry. I'll take that. I don't know why Jay Gruden keeps disrespecting Adrian Peterson. And I'm not trying to go on a rant right now, but Jay Gruden hasn't done enough in this league to have the clout to call out AP the way he does and treat the man the way he does. I'm not saying AP. Like, if you don't want a player like that in your offense, don't have him on your football team. Cut him. Let him go before the season started. Find some other type of personnel that fits the type of skill set, because you can tell it's very clearly not a fit. And look, Adrian Peterson is one of the all-time great running backs, NFL history. We all recognize that. The game and the style of play for most teams has probably passed him by. There's only probably a handful of teams where he would be effective, because to Jay Gruden's point, you do have to change the entire offense to fit him in. But I don't want to hear the head coach coming out and saying that about a person. It's not like, to me, I mean, and somebody that's dialed into the Redskins fan base or whatever can come on and correct me on this, but it's not like he's been negative Nancy or been out in the media and talking about everything. To me, I feel like he's been very professional, all things considered, how he handled and was complimentary of Darius Geis in that situation, but not getting the opportunity to really work. And I get the game got away from him. They had to go to more Chris Thompson and get him some opportunities. But still, I mean, Adrian Peterson, I just feel like he's being disrespected by Jay Gruden. They got him some touches today, and he can still be used situationally, but we'll see what happens with that situation. Overall, though, you got to be happy as a Cowboys fan. 2-0, no major injuries, at least coming out of the game that I'm aware of. Everybody's clean. The wide receivers and Dak are gelling. Kellen Moore, he's just got a full grasp of everything that's being thrown at him from a schematic standpoint, and Dak Prescott and him have a mind meld going. Defensively, we want to see some turnovers next week against Miami, and we want to see them shine. They haven't had a breakout performance just yet. Even Leighton Vander Esch and the linebackers, they're getting tackles, but they've been quiet. They haven't made those splash plays that we got accustomed to seeing last season. So I'm waiting for the hot boys to show up on the defensive line. I'm waiting for the linebackers to show up. I've seen Byron show up, but I'm waiting for some other folks to show up and shore some things up. Last thing I want to say is this, and it did not come up today. The kicker's still shaky. I'm just saying, at some point, him clanking the extra point, I watched the dude kick in preseason. He's shaky. I've said my piece. So, guys, appreciate y'all. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Make sure you subscribe if you rock with what we're doing here. We're trying to up the game on everything, and just really appreciate all the support and the help we've gotten. We'll actually be making some announcements next week with some additions we've added to the channel and some surprises we have coming up. But I want to do it when we're going through our Texas content and as we continue to break things down throughout the week of all of our favorite sports. We actually have some boxing stuff that we need to put out, some big fights coming up with Earl Spence and Sean Porter on September 28th. There was a big fight this past weekend with Tyson Fury, so a lot of things going on. But how about them Cowboys? We're 2-0, sitting atop the NFC East. We 2 straight NFC East victories. Not much more you can ask for considering the opponent. Appreciate you guys. Steve out.